One thing that people don't always know is that you do not have to answer your door. If your door's, if the ringer's going off and you don't know who it is or you know it's a cop, you don't have to answer the door. The door is like a telephone. You don't have to pick it up. Now, if the cops have a right to come in your house, they have a warrant or they have some other circumstance that they have a right to come in, they're coming in whether you open the door or not. So if you need to protect yourself and say they don't have a right to come in, you're not giving them any opportunity to come in by keeping that door shut. So, if you have a bag of cocaine on the table and there's smoke in the air, it might not be a great time to open the door. You're just setting yourself up. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's really awkward not to answer the door. We all feel like we should, especially if it's the cops. You don't have to. Just keep that in mind. But if you do open the door, what are some things that you can do in advance to kind of protect yourself if you decide you're going to open that door? What can you do before you let them in?
You can step outside and close the door and talk to them on your front porch.
Excellent. Shut the door behind you when you leave. That's a good thing. Anything else?
Make sure that your blinds are closed so they can't see in windows of your house.
Yeah, I think you probably noticed Warrens, kind of peeking around with his flashlights. As soon as they can see that bong on the table, you're done. They're going in that apartment, they're seizing that, you're in trouble. So, shut the door behind you, make sure your blinds are closed, make sure they can't, peek through a little gap in the blinds. It's a good one. Anything else?
Just put the bong away from the view.
Keep your private things private. There's a theory in the law called plain view. If they can see it, they can get it. So before you let the cops in, stash all your private stuff. Before you even start your party, put your shit in your room and shut your door. Now, we probably all have roommates, right? You share your house with at least a couple of other people. That's a big concern because your living room, your kitchen, any common areas, any one of your roommates can consent to a search of that. So even if you don't consent to them searching your kitchen, someone else can. And if it's sort of in the general area, you saw Warren just walking around, he's walking in any room he can access. He's going to have some problems though if the door's shut, and especially if the door's locked. They can't be opening doors and searching in there without consent. So before you start the party, put all of your stuff in your room and shut your door. Make sure nothing is in the common room, because if it's in that common room, every one of you can consent to it and any one of you can get nailed for what's ever in there. So just kind of, if you're going to have a party, be smart about it.
I like to think of my bedroom as my own private little castle. It's like that is your own little house when you have roommates. And just think of it like, for the cops to come up, it's just like a new door. It's like a new house for them to get into, right? So your roommates can't say, yeah, you can go in my room. That's mine, right? But they can say you can go into the kitchen, living in this, so keep it in your own little castle. Keep that door closed at all times.
So someone mentioned a witness. Great idea. If you decide you're going to go out and actually speak to the police, you want to have someone else with you. Why? Cops lie. You might go out there and it's just your word versus his. Oh yeah, that guy consented to my search. Who are they going to believe? The cop or you random college kid? They're going to believe the cop. So preferably somebody who's not wasted, or especially if they're a roommate, they have a stake in it too. Get someone to come out with you, do as this gentleman said, shut the door behind you, and then you have a witness there that can corroborate anything you say if shit goes down. If you don't have someone around you, cell phones, you can call somebody while you're being stopped or while you're being arrested, and you can call and say, it's 10:30, the cops are stopping me, I did not consent to a search. Then they can always ask that guy that you called, did he consent to a search? No, he called me and said he was not consenting to a search. Or a lot of phones have recorders in them. I don't recommend you shoving it in the cop's face. Chances are they're going to go, so you want to be a little discreet, but it's good to have someone else to corroborate your story if you're going into that situation. Mm-hmm.
Can't you not use a recording unless they consent to be recorded?
It depends on what you're using the recording for. In our situation, it's perfectly fine what you're doing.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can protect yourself in that way.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're in a car, you can record it, I mean, yeah.
I was in the dorm room trying to call a professor to see what my rights were, and while I was trying to call him, when the door was almost completely shut, the cop went in the door and grabbed me and made me shut myself up and pulled me out of the room.
Yeah, yeah,
We
you should
should-
expect that.
And well, and we should, a little caveat here, dorms are different than homes. You know, it's not gonna change anything you're gonna do. You're still gonna say, I don't consent to a search, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to give yourself the maximum legal rights possible. But in dorms, you do not have the exact same legal rights that you do in a private home. So that's just something to consider. You know, it's especially important in dorm to keep things private and, you know,
You know,
Hello? Shut the door.
sir, we had complaints of excessive noise. Are you having a party going on back there?
No, officer.
Where's all this noise coming from? You just rocking out by yourself?
exactly.
I don't believe you. You got some underagers drinking in your house there?
No.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if we came in and took a look then.
Do you have a warrant?
Do you think we need a warrant?
I do.
We're coming in your house, sir. We know that you're having a party in there. I
I
can
do not
hear
consent to
kids in there.
Look, you can save yourself time. We're gonna have to come back with a warrant anyway, and it's gonna have your name on it. So you can make
Don't
this
make us
easy
go
for
get a
yourself,
warrant.
or you can make
I
this
just want to
harder.
consent to a search.
Sir, we know that you have a party going on there. We're just trying to make sure that everyone's okay. I don't want anyone to be hurt in there and we're standing out here and they're suffering inside.
Can I see your ID, son?
I'm not going to give you that information.
Sir, why are you making this so hard on us? We're just trying to help you out. We think that someone might be injured inside. Why don't you just let us go in, take a look around, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll leave.
I do not consent to a search. You'll need to get a warrant.